The African Medicines Innovations and Technology Development Platform at the University of the Free State will now lead global research into traditional medicine. This is after being awarded a research grant from the World Health Organization. The research under the leadership of Professor Motlalepula Matsabisa will look at some of the indigenous medicines being developed to address cancer, TB and other diseases. It was appointed to host the G20 Research and Innovation Working Group and G20 Innovative on Bioeconomy. Here's SABC News reporter Masiteng, who joins us now for an update on the story. So Makgala, take us through some of those groundbreaking conversations to come out of there.
Thank you very much, Mkolisi. As you have indicated there in your intro, this platform at the University of the Free State, what they are looking into is to develop traditional medicines. Of course, their interest is actually in working together with communities, your traditional healers, where they'll be able to assist them in, developing whatever knowledge and background of traditional medicines that they have and turning it into a product that will be acceptable, of course, into the markets. And so what they are saying is that they have this platform where all communities, those with that knowledge, are able to approach the University of the Free State and come up with whatever knowledge that they have. Then the university will be able to assist them in terms of research, starting from the beginning processes, that they will get the knowledge from these traditional healers or your communities that will say, we have a knowledge of this kind of medicine. We've been using it to treat either flu or different diseases, but we need you to assist in terms of you developing this medicine so that it can be approved. So what they do is that they will work with these communities or traditional healers, starting with the research, taking whatever it is that they are producing into the laboratory, and also identifying if truly these medicines are actually addressing what they are saying these medicines are addressing in terms of various illnesses. Of course, this is taking this traditional medicine into a global platform. You have indicated there in your intro, policy, that they were also identified during the G20, I think it was around February, the group that is looking into science and technology came here at the University of the Free State, where they held those discussions around how to develop traditional medicine into the acceptable medicine that will be accepted, of course, into the market. And this topic didn't start under the presidency of South Africa. Actually, they said that this started during the presidency of Brazil, where they came up with this idea that they should focus the studies and everything into developing whatever traditional medicines into what will be acceptable into the market. So what they did then is that they identified University of the Free State when the G20 was here, of course, this year, as one of those facilities that have really worked very hard into working with communities and traditional healers into developing whatever it is that they are growing at their backyard or whatever that they've been using for years to treat several illnesses, to turn that into what will be acceptable by scientists and, of course, acceptable into the market. It has to be proven that it is safe. It has to be proven that that medicine can actually address whatever it is that the traditional healers or communities are claiming that those medicines can address. So currently, they've been working with various communities. Some of them are in the Free State. Some of them, in fact, mostly are in the Eastern Cape. So most of those traditional healers in those communities are coming from various provinces. But what they do, they say they have that framework available on their website where these communities or traditional healers can be able to approach the university, and they will be able to take them throughout the whole process of the research, developing this medicine to be approved, and they can also be taken into pharmacies where they can be able to be used in treating some of these diseases, because these are medicines that those who have grown from rural areas would know that when we're growing up, we'll be told that if you have flu, you can take something, a certain plant, and that will be able to help you. But what the University of the Free State is saying, they want to help the traditional healers. Of course, what they are doing, they're just adding value because already they have this information, they have the background, they've been using this medication. What they are doing is just to assist them to ensure that these medicines are approved and taken into the global market. Now, they've been recognized by various departments, even in the country. They've also been identified and given a responsibility to look into BRICS Natural Medicine, or rather into developing BRICS Natural Medicine Institute. And as you have indicated there, Olisi, they were talking also about them as receiving a huge amount in terms of, or rather coming from the World Health Organization, where they are trusted to ensure that they develop and also work with various regions. I'm just trying to look here. Some of them is they will be working with in Africa, of course, the America, Southeast Asia, Europe, Eastern Mediterranean, and Western Pacific, where they will be developing these traditional medicines, and of course working with various institutions to ensure that this it becomes a global policy. In fact, during December, I think around the 18th, they were in India as part of those researchers that are ongoing, and they are really playing a key role in some of those things. So, now, when we were speaking to to Professor Matsabisa, looking into some of the work that they've been doing, of course, besides the work that they are doing with some of the traditional healers and communities. And in fact, I forgot to mention there that some of these communities that they are assisting, they are actually even assisting with facilities where they can be able to grow their medicines under proper conditions, controlled conditions. So it comes with really a lot of assistance to those with that background knowledge of that medicine. But I was then talking about their role in other fields as they are busy with researches and some of the tests that are ongoing there at the University of the Free State. Currently, they said that they are working on developing medicines that will assist in terms of treating various cancers. So that study is ongoing, but what they are really trying to achieve here is to be able to assist in terms of treating cancer, so that if it takes a certain period of time, let's say a year, to treat a certain kind of cancer, or to see a development in people, recovery, that they are able to reduce that amount. But that the research, of course, is still ongoing. The other factor that was very interesting when we were talking to him, it was the issue of the groundbreaking medication that they came up with, which is called PILA. It was actually developed around the time during the spike of HIV. That's when they developed this medicine. So what this medicine does is that it helps with boosting the immune system. So it's not a cure to HIV, but it was just boosting immune system. And then during COVID-19, that's when they tried to repurpose this medication so that it can be able to assist then with those who have infections of COVID-19. But of course, they said that study they couldn't complete that study as then the pandemic was over. However, what he said that was interesting was that COVID is still there. It's just that it's no longer a notifiable diseases. There's no longer taking of the stats that so many people are having COVID and all of that. But yes, it is not a pandemic anymore, but there's still those. And that is one of the studies that they are also looking into. What he also mentioned was that those who have had, what they've realized is that those who have had COVID during that COVID-19 pandemic have now become sort of susceptible to certain diseases like your TB. Someone who wouldn't just ordinarily just get TB, if you have had a COVID-19 infection, it has somehow tampered with your immune system. So what the other study that they are looking into right now is looking into whether this medicine that was used initially to assist in terms of treating HIV, and then they tried to repurpose for COVID-19. Now that medicine, now the study is ongoing where they are trying to see how this medicine can be used to assist in treating your TB, so that instead of taking 6 months to treat TB, it can take less time to be able to do that, because already the medicine was approved and was used for HIV. It's just that the study was not completed for COVID-19, but now they are repurposing that to see how it can assist in terms of treating TB, and also looking at those who have had COVID-19 before and how that has tampered with their immune system, and how this medicine can be able then to come in and assist in boosting their immune system, and also those who get infection of TB, so that they can be able to reduce then the time that they take. As you would know, ordinarily those who have an infection of tuberculosis, they have now to be on medication for at least 6 months. So they are trying to also look into that, how they can reduce, and they're saying that can actually save even government a lot of money, where people don't have to stay longer into this TB treatment. So those are some of the groundbreaking researches that they are busy with. At the moment, I know that they said they are looking into getting people from across the various provinces. Specifically, he mentioned Gauteng, he mentioned KZN and other provinces, where they will have a study then with at least 600 people, where these people will then go through that study, where they'll be able to study this medicine, if it can assist in terms of treating traditional medicines. But basically what they are doing is taking the traditional medicine or indigenous knowledge of this traditional medicines into the global platform, and also playing a key role in developing global policies. As you've heard, they are leading after getting that grant from the World Health Organization. And of course, they are also hoping that whatever discussions that went through during the G20 into how then these countries can be able to take this indigenous knowledge and use it for the benefit of all the countries, then they are hopeful that will be implemented.
All right, that's our very own Makgala Masiteng. Thank you so much for that comprehensive report.